Share your thoughts on animal abuse, mate?
Sorry?
Would you like to share your thoughts on animal abuse today? Film for a social experiment.
It's for a social experiment.
For a social experiment, yeah.
It's for a social experiment. My thoughts on animal abuse. I don't think I have.
Do you have any thoughts? Okay, well let me start with the first question. What do you think of animals?
I love animals.
You love them, yeah. I mean, how could you not? I mean, they're harmless, like they're cute. I don't know what's going on half the time. What do you think of people that abuse animals?
I think there's something inherently wrong with you if you can abuse animals.
Yeah.
And still sleep at night, to be honest.
Good answer. Totally agree. My next question would be, what would you like qualify as animal abuse?
I mean, I think it's quite a broad term. It's quite difficult to quantify it whilst having how much time to have.
Yeah. Well, let me give you my definition, and then you can tell me what you think of it. So I think animal abuse is anything which is unnecessary harm to animals that inflicts pain on them and suffering, like anything at all. So kicking them, abusing them, shouting at them, anything like that. Would you agree with me?
It's a good definition, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then my final question, I'm not trying to catch you out or anything, because I used to pay for these products as well. What do you think of animals that we send into slaughterhouses for meat, products, dairy, all that?
It's a difficult subject because, you know, it's profit. At the end of the day, I think no matter what you look at, profit kind of rules everything.
Yep.
And, you know, there's so many questions around so many subjects about centered around like climate change and animal slaughter being one of them.
Yep.
And the reason why those things don't change is because it's the bottom line, it's the dollar. You know, that speaks loud.
Like supply and demand sort of thing. Yeah.
The supply and demand is such, it's just that's what makes the most money, and people will never turn a blind eye to money until it's too late, or maybe
until they confront it, maybe, or like actually see what happens.
I couldn't tell you, but I think at the end of the day, it's bottom line, you know?
Bottom line. So it just happens, and there's nothing like you individually could do about it.
I think there's things. I think there's things that I can individually do about it. Yes, but I'm a pragmatist. I look at the bigger picture, and I'm like, yes, there's things I can do about it, but what does that do to the entire impact? What we need to look at is what we can do as a whole, you know?
Okay, so like systemic change, maybe that might be better.
Change, and not just around like animal abuse, and you know, like, I love animals, but like just around the whole topic around global change, you know, alright, if we're looking at slaughterhouses, if it's emissions, if it's just animal abuse, if it's whatever the case may be, yeah, we look at that, then we got to look at other areas that impact our livelihoods and impact the climate and the population as a whole, and address those, you know. So it's...
So, okay, yeah, this is a loaded answer, yeah.
It's loaded, but
I would say, like, what do you think drives systemic change? What do you think, like, is the catalyst that drives that stuff to happen? Is it the government?
I think systemic change takes time, and it could already be happening.
Yeah, I agree. Like, the reason I say that is because what I think drives systemic change is individual change. So it starts with me and you, it starts with everyone on the streets here. And if people boycott these products, so chicken, dairy, all these products that cause a lot of unnecessary harm, I'm not sure how much you know about the industry.
Not a lot.
Do you know how milk is produced?
No, I'm actually lactose intolerant.
Oh, yeah, okay. So was I actually. I was as well.
Yeah, I use alternatives, which I recently learned apparently are worse for the environment than actually in the environment wise.
But then like almond milk?
Like almond milk.
Well, if you did look at the facts and figures, you'd find that dairy milk is actually worse overall, and so is animal products as well.
I mean, where are we getting our facts and figures? We can go back and forth, man.
Oh no, yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, that's not super important. Like the environment, that's a big thing. But what I really want to talk about is animal rights.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying why I'm bringing up the environment personally is because I think it's very easy to pick and select things when it comes to tackling issues.
Yeah.
Like, so, for me to make a change, around, you know, boycotting products and so on and so forth, personally, I'd want to look at the broader picture, not just animal rights. That's important. But okay, let's look at that. Let's look at how slaughterhouses affect the climate. Let's look at how they affect other aspects other aspects of, I guess, the economy or society.
The bigger picture,
The
basically.
negative way, yeah, the bigger picture, yeah. It's a good word.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, I don't know how much you know about it. I mean, obviously, there's facts and figures. We can go back and forth throwing facts and figures, saying, "Oh, this is better for the environment, that's better for the environment." But what I would say is, if you were against animal abuse, what would hold you back from going vegan?
For me personally, I think it's impossible to go vegan.
I think it's impossible to go vegan.
I think it's impossible for me to go vegan.
Well, why'd you say that?
I like eating meat.
Yeah. So you get enjoyment out of it, like pleasure. Do it with your friends and family.
It's a big part of my diet. It always has been since I was a child.
Yeah.
You know, my family's in farming. Like we don't. We'd find it very difficult. I'd find it very difficult to just socialize on a day-to-day basis without eating meat. And like I said, I'm lactose intolerant, so
that's actually be better for you going vegan, wouldn't it? If you were lactose intolerant.
well, managing being lactose intolerant is difficult enough.
Yeah.
I don't think I can manage being a vegan.
So yeah, I get you, because it's like there's a lot of cultural pressure to consume these products and to send these animals.
Not for pressure. I think I'm too far gone.
Well, how old are you?
I'm 30.
You're 30. That's young as fuck.
It is young, but I'm too far gone. I don't think I'm ever gonna give up meat, to be honest.
Well, maybe you haven't been asked the right questions. Like, what I'd say to people is, it's hard for you to go vegan if you think about yourself. But it's easy when you think about the victim involved in these products, and you think about the victim in your fork and what that, like, innocent little sentient being went through just so you could get a 5-minute enjoyment. Like, I bet you don't even remember what you had last night for dinner, or maybe you do.
It's chicken-based dinner.
Yeah. And then sound that lasts 5 minutes, and then that animal had to have their whole life taken away from
Look
it.
at it. I don't think that's the way to look at it. We can do that. I can make anything in the world look bad just by I guess nitpicking little things about what is wrong with how it's produced. Like, you can make anything look bad. You know?
Yeah.
I can make what you're wearing look like, for instance.
Fast fashion.
Yeah. Fast fashion.
Yeah.
Anything.
But I'd say, like, that's a different social justice issue completely, isn't it? Like, you wouldn't compare racism with sexism or like child abuse with animal abuse.
That's true. I'm just saying, as a society, we have a lot of stuff to work on.
There's a lot. Yeah.
And I think if you are vegan and you're doing it for the environment, kudos to you. But
I would say you can't actually, because the vegan philosophy is a philosophy which is against the commodity status of animals. So if you look into it a bit more, then it's like veganism is this philosophy which is all based in animal rights. You look at the history, like, I'd say you can go plant-based for the environment, but vegan is specifically for animals and for how they go against the...
I think you can love animals. I think you can love animals and still consume meat and meat products. I just think maybe it's important to find out the sources for your food, like, be a bit more conscious. Yeah, but I just know that it would take a lot to convince me to go vegan. A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
I think, have you ever seen any, like, footage of these, like, industries? No. You refuse to? Why do you refuse to? That's interesting.
I'm aware of the stigma around it, and I just don't want to watch it. What did I watch?
Are you afraid it might make you go vegan?
No, I just don't wanna watch it.
Watch it then.
It's terrible. It's like watching humans being tortured. It's in the same sort of ballpark for me. Like, I don't wanna watch it.
Oh, I would say it's different in the fact that, like, the source of these foods, they come from this. And you say, it's important to be more cognitive of it, more conscious of it. And I think education is very important in deciding whether you should pay for something or whether you should consume it or not. And if you completely skip the education, then you live in ignorance. And you know the saying ignorance is bliss, but then that ignorance can cause a lot of harm. And I know you can say that for anything, but specifically to talk about animals, that's what I would say for that.
Yeah, you make very valid points, and I'm not disagreeing with them at all.
Yeah.
I know what my stance is with regards to. I know what my stance is with regards to, you know, animal cruelty. I've done some of the education, and do you know what? One thing I've actually done is I eat less meat. That's one thing I started doing.
Okay.
Is like, you know, I won't eat it every day. I might eat it 3 days, 4 days a week, but to completely eliminate it from my diet, I don't see that happening. Maybe I can see myself maybe eating meat, because I do think like plant-based products and meat-free products are getting better. Vegan products,
Yeah, 100%.
yeah, and I can, if I can enjoy a meat-free meal, I feel on a more regular occurrence, and I feel like I can, you know, do that. But to being eliminated from my diet, I think that's.
It sounds like a daunting task. Like when you're first thinking about it, no, I thought that too. I thought, oh, I can never do it. Like I used to love meat, pepperoni, cheese, all of it. And what sort of made me keep with it is that, like, we wouldn't say that for any other type of injustice. So like child abuse or like sexism.
I don't like that.
You don't like that?
I don't like that.
Because for animal abuse,
It's completely different.
but for animal abuse, we sort of say, oh, we'll produce it.
No, that's completely different because hypothetically, if I have children and they go to a great institution that's known to send them to Cambridge and Oxford, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
and I find out there's teachers abusing children in that school, I'm doing something about it immediately.
Yeah,
That's very different to. And I understand what you're trying to say, but like that's very different to me changing my diet based on, you know, it might mean different things to you and I, but to me it's completely different.
Yeah.
What makes you say that then? What makes you say it?
I just think more radical action is required if it's child abuse, like human trafficking, stuff like that.
I think that's because of like social conditioning.
It might be. It might be. But I think it's very difficult to be consistent in all these matters, you know? It's very difficult to be consistent in all these matters because a lot of vegan people are very self-righteous, I find. And then, you know,
I'm not a perfect person. Like,
I'm not saying you are, I don't know you, but I'm saying in general, I find when I come into contact with vegan people, they're self-righteous, and that's not the way to deal with matters of the world.